CLEP Principles of Management SWOT Analysis. Question 1. Which concept is shown when a manager uses formal authority to impose a conflict decision quickly at a warehouse facility for the Bluebird unit? Option A. Accommodation. Option B. Collaboration. Option C. Compromise. Option D. Forcing. The correct answer is option D. Forcing. Forcing fits because forcing is a win-lose style that relies on power or authority. Accommodation is different because it gives in to preserve harmony, collaboration is different because it seeks mutual gains, and compromise is different because it splits concessions between sides. Question 2. Workers are told that safety goggles must be worn in the lab inside a project team for the Bluebird unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A. Policy. Option B. Strategy. Option C. Rule. Option D. Empowerment. The correct answer is option C. Rule. Rule fits because a rule states exactly what must or must not be done. Policy is different because it offers broad guidance rather than a specific command. Strategy is different because it sets broad direction, and empowerment is different because it gives employees more decision authority. Question 3. During a management case, a firm discovers its outdated software is hurting productivity inside a training program for the Bluebird unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A. Weakness. Option B. Strength. Option C. Opportunity. Option D. Threat. The correct answer is option A. Weakness. Weakness fits because a weakness is an internal limitation that can reduce performance. Strength is different because it is an internal advantage, opportunity is different because it comes from a favorable external condition, and threat is different because it comes from an unfavorable external condition. Question 4. How should a manager classify a situation where a production manager directly supervises employees who make the company's product during a manufacturing expansion for the Bluebird unit? Option A. Staff authority. Option B. Line authority. Option C. Informal authority. Option D. Mediation. The correct answer is option B. Line authority. Line authority fits because line authority is direct authority over core work activities. Staff authority is different because it provides advice and support. Informal authority is different because it comes from relationships rather than formal position, and mediation is different because it helps parties settle a dispute. Question 5. When middle managers convert broad goals into departmental actions within a nonprofit organization for the Bluebird unit, which concept is being applied? Option A. Strategic planning. Option B. Orientation. Option C. Tactical planning. Option D. Collective bargaining. The correct answer is option C. Tactical planning. Tactical planning fits because tactical planning translates strategy into plans for units or departments. Strategic planning is different because it is broader and handled mainly by top management. Orientation is different because it introduces new employees to the organization, and collective bargaining is different because it is negotiation between labor and management. Question 6. After each side gives up part of what it wants to reach a settlement inside a regional branch for the Bluebird unit, which label best fits the action? Option A. Collaboration. Option B. Compromise. Option C. Avoidance. Option D. Accommodation. The correct answer is option B. Compromise. Compromise fits because compromise resolves conflict through mutual concessions. Collaboration is different because it seeks a fuller win-win solution. Avoidance is different because it sidesteps the issue, and accommodation is different because it yields to the other side. Question 7. If employees follow a required sequence for approving purchase orders in a customer service center for the Bluebird unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A. Policy. Option B. Mission. Option C. Span of control. Option D. Procedure. The correct answer is option D. Procedure. Procedure fits because a procedure lists the steps for completing a recurring task. Policy is different because it is broader and less step-by-step. Mission is different because it states the organization's purpose, and span of control is different because it counts direct reports. Question 8. To analyze a case where employees from different backgrounds are actively involved in meetings and decisions at a family-owned business for the Bluebird unit, which term should be selected? Option A. Recruitment. Option B. Inclusion. Option C. Filtering. Option D. Bureaucracy. The correct answer is option B. Inclusion. Inclusion fits because inclusion means people are welcomed, respected, and able to contribute. Recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, filtering is different because it distorts communication, and bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes rules and hierarchy. Question 9. For an exam item where experts give anonymous opinions through several rounds of questionnaires in a multinational company for the Bluebird unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, town hall meeting. Option B, functional structure. Option C, Delphi technique. Option D, concurrent control. The correct answer is option C, Delphi technique. Delphi technique fits because the Delphi technique gathers expert judgment while reducing direct social pressure. Town hall meeting is different because it is open discussion rather than anonymous expert rounds. Functional structure is different because it groups similar activities, and concurrent control is different because it monitors current work. Question 10. In a workplace example where a new competitor enters the market with lower prices at a new startup for the Bluebird unit, which concept is tested? Option A, strength. Option B, opportunity. Option C, procedure. Option D, threat. The correct answer is option D, threat. Threat fits because a threat is an external condition that can harm performance. Strength is different because it is an internal advantage, opportunity is different because it is an external positive condition, and procedure is different because it is a sequence of steps. Question 11. Before choosing an answer about branch managers are allowed to solve local customer problems without headquarters approval at a warehouse facility for the Bluebird unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, centralization. Option B, bureaucracy. Option C, forecasting. Option D, decentralization. The correct answer is option D, decentralization. Decentralization fits because decentralization gives lower levels more authority to make decisions. Centralization is different because it keeps authority at the top, bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes rules and hierarchy, and forecasting is different because it estimates future conditions. Question 12. One manager notices that a company gives managers broad guidance for handling customer refunds inside a project team for the Bluebird unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, procedure. Option B, rule. Option C, vision. Option D, policy. The correct answer is option D, policy. Policy fits because a policy is a general guideline for recurring decisions. Procedure is different because it gives exact steps to follow, rule is different because it states a specific required or prohibited action, and vision is different because it describes a desired future. Question 13. Could a case where a routine refund request is handled with an established policy inside a training program for the Bluebird unit best point to which concept? Option A, non-program decision. Option B, strategic alliance. Option C, job enrichment. Option D, program decision. The correct answer is option D, program decision. Program decision fits because program decisions use rules or procedures for recurring problems. Non-program decision is different because it addresses new and unusual situations. Strategic alliance is different because it is cooperation between firms, and job enrichment is different because it redesigns work. Question 14. Why would a scenario where executives respond to a crisis the company has never faced before during a manufacturing expansion for the Bluebird unit most likely test which idea? Option A, non-program decision. Option B, program decision. Option C, procedure. Option D, standing plan. The correct answer is option A, non-program decision. Non-program decision fits because non-program decisions are novel, complex, and not solved by routine rules. Program decision is different because it handles repeated problems, procedure is different because it gives routine steps, and standing plan is different because it guides recurring situations. Question 15. Where does employees in marketing and operations coordinate work at the same level within a nonprofit organization for the Bluebird unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, horizontal communication. Option B, downward communication. Option C, upward communication. Option D, chain of command. The correct answer is option A, horizontal communication. Horizontal communication fits because horizontal communication occurs among people or units at similar levels. Downward communication is different because it flows down the hierarchy, upward communication is different because it flows up the hierarchy, and chain of command is different because it shows formal authority lines. Question 16. Should a student connect employees are grouped into departments such as finance, marketing, and operations inside a regional branch for the Bluebird unit with which management concept? Option A, divisional structure. Option B, matrix structure. Option C, virtual team. Option D, functional structure. The correct answer is option D, functional structure. Functional structure fits because a functional structure groups people by similar skills or activities. Divisional structure is different because it groups by product, customer, or geography. Matrix structure is different because it creates dual reporting lines. And virtual team is different because it works across distance through technology. Question 17. Which concept is shown when managers scan political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal forces in a customer service center for the Bluebird unit? Option A. Pastel analysis. Option B. SWOT analysis. Option C. Job analysis. Option D. Equity theory. The correct answer is option A. Pastel analysis. Pastel analysis fits because Pastel helps managers analyze major external environmental forces. SWOT analysis is different because it combines internal and external strategic factors. Job analysis is different because it studies duties and requirements, and equity theory is different because it studies fairness perceptions. Question 18. An engineer reports to both a functional manager and a project manager at a family-owned business for the Bluebird unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A. Functional structure. Option B. Centralization. Option C. Job analysis. Option D. Matrix structure. The correct answer is option D. Matrix structure. Matrix structure fits because a matrix structure combines functional and project authority, creating dual reporting. Functional structure is different because it usually has one functional chain. Centralization is different because it refers to where decisions are made, and job analysis is different because it studies the content of a job. Question 19. During a management case, a manager compares actual performance with standards and corrects a gap in a multinational company for the Bluebird unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A. Planning. Option B. Controlling. Option C. Organizing. Option D. Leading. The correct answer is option B. Controlling. Controlling fits because controlling measures results, compares them with standards, and triggers corrective action. Planning is different because it sets goals but does not measure completed results. Organizing is different because it assigns work and authority, and leading is different because it motivates people rather than evaluates variances. Question 20. How should a manager classify a situation where work is studied to find the most efficient way to perform each task at a new startup for the Bluebird unit? Option A. Human relations approach. Option B. Scientific management. Option C. Contingency theory. Option D. Bureaucracy. The correct answer is option B. Scientific management. Scientific management fits because scientific management emphasizes task analysis, standard methods, and efficiency. Human relations approach is different because it emphasizes social needs and worker attitudes. Contingency theory is different because it argues management depends on the situation, and bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes hierarchy and rules. Question 21. When consultants help improve culture, teamwork, and readiness for change at a warehouse facility for the Bluebird unit, which concept is being applied? Option A. Scientific management. Option B. Recruitment. Option C. Organization development. Option D. Budget variance analysis. The correct answer is option C. Organization development. Organization development fits because organization development uses planned interventions to improve organizational effectiveness. Scientific management is different because it focuses on task efficiency. Recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, and budget variance analysis is different because it compares planned and actual financial results. Question 22. After an employee accepts the duty to complete an assigned task inside a project team for the Bluebird unit, which label best fits the action? Option A. Authority. Option B. Accountability. Option C. Centralization. Option D. Responsibility. The correct answer is option D. Responsibility. Responsibility fits because responsibility is the obligation to perform assigned work. Authority is different because it is the right to direct work. Accountability is different because it is answerability for outcomes, and centralization is different because it keeps decisions at higher levels. Question 23. If a leader gives capable experts broad freedom and little direct supervision inside a training program for the Bluebird unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A. Autocratic leadership. Option B. Bureaucratic leadership. Option C. Transactional leadership. Option D. Laissez-faire leadership. The correct answer is option D. Laissez-faire leadership. Laissez-faire leadership fits because laissez-faire leadership minimizes leader control and allows follower autonomy. Autocratic leadership is different because it is directive and centralized. Bureaucratic leadership is different because it follows rules closely, and transactional leadership is different because it emphasizes rewards and corrections. Question 24. To analyze a case where frontline workers are allowed to make service decisions without waiting for approval during a manufacturing expansion for the Bluebird unit, which term should be selected? Option A, empowerment. Option B, centralization. Option C, job analysis. Option D, filtering. The correct answer is option A, empowerment. Empowerment fits because empowerment gives employees authority, information, and responsibility to act. Centralization is different because it keeps decisions at higher levels. Job analysis is different because it studies duties and requirements, and filtering is different because it distorts communication. Question 25. For an exam item where an organization designs pay rates, incentives, and salary ranges within a nonprofit organization for the Bluebird unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, compensation. Option B, benefits. Option C, recruitment. Option D, quality control. The correct answer is option A, compensation. Compensation fits because compensation covers financial rewards given for employee work. Benefits is different because they are indirect rewards such as insurance or leave. Recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, and quality control is different because it checks output against standards. Question 26. In a workplace example where managers coordinate suppliers, production, logistics, and customers inside a regional branch for the Bluebird unit, which concept is tested? Option A, span of control. Option B, supply chain management. Option C, equity theory. Option D, downward communication. The correct answer is option B, supply chain management. Supply chain management fits because supply chain management connects the flow of materials, information, and products across organizations. Span of control is different because it counts direct reports. Equity theory is different because it concerns fairness, and downward communication is different because it flows from managers to employees. Question 27. Before choosing an answer about a manager defines a problem, lists alternatives, evaluates them, and selects a solution in a customer service center for the Bluebird unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, grapevine. Option B, equity theory. Option C, rational decision-making model. Option D, laissez-faire leadership. The correct answer is option C, rational decision-making model. Rational decision-making model fits because the rational model uses a logical sequence to choose among alternatives. Grapevine is different because it is informal communication. Equity theory is different because it explains motivation through fairness, and laissez-faire leadership is different because it gives followers broad freedom. Question 28. One manager notices that leaders explain why old habits must change before introducing a new system at a family-owned business for the Bluebird unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, refreezing. Option B, unfreezing. Option C, controlling. Option D, recruiting. The correct answer is option B, unfreezing. Unfreezing fits because unfreezing prepares people to let go of current behaviors and accept change. Refreezing is different because it stabilizes the new behavior. Controlling is different because it measures performance against standards, and recruiting is different because it attracts applicants. Question 29. Could a case where two departments search for a solution that fully addresses both sides' concerns in a multinational company for the Bluebird unit best point to which concept? Option A, avoidance. Option B, forcing. Option C, collaboration. Option D, compromise. The correct answer is option C, collaboration. Collaboration fits because collaboration tries to create a win-win outcome by addressing underlying interests. Avoidance is different because it postpones or ignores the conflict. Forcing is different because it uses power to win at the other's expense, and compromise is different because it requires each side to give up something. Question 30. Why would a scenario where a leader rewards employees for meeting agreed performance targets at a new startup for the Bluebird unit most likely test which idea? Option A, transformational leadership. Option B, servant leadership. Option C, situational leadership. Option D, transactional leadership. The correct answer is option D, transactional leadership. Transactional leadership fits because transactional leadership uses exchanges, rewards, and corrective actions. Transformational leadership is different because it inspires commitment to change. Servant leadership is different because it emphasizes serving followers, and situational leadership is different because it adapts style to readiness. Question 31. Where does a team member keeps discussion focused on goals, facts, and deadlines at a warehouse facility for the Bluebird unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, maintenance role. Option B, blocking role. Option C, informal authority. Option D, task role. The correct answer is option D, task role. Task role fits because task roles help the group accomplish its work. Maintenance role is different because it supports relationships and morale. Blocking role is different because it disrupts group progress, and informal authority is different because it comes from influence rather than position. Question 32. Should a student connect a manager postpones addressing a conflict and hopes it disappears inside a project team for the Bluebird unit with which management concept? Option A, forcing. Option B, avoidance. Option C, collaboration. Option D, mediation. The correct answer is option B, avoidance. Avoidance fits because avoidance delays or withdraws from conflict rather than solving it directly. Forcing is different because it uses authority to impose a solution. Collaboration is different because it openly works through both sides' concerns, and mediation is different because it uses a neutral facilitator. Question 33. Which concept is shown when a manager has the formal right to make decisions and direct work inside a training program for the Bluebird unit? Option A, responsibility. Option B, accountability. Option C, motivation. Option D, authority. The correct answer is option D, authority. Authority fits because authority is the legitimate right to command resources and give orders. Responsibility is different because it is the duty to perform assigned work. Accountability is different because it is being answerable for results, and motivation is different because it is the drive to act. Question 34. A neutral third party helps disputing employees reach their own agreement during a manufacturing expansion for the Bluebird unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, arbitration. Option B, collective bargaining. Option C, mediation. Option D, groupthink. The correct answer is option C, mediation. Mediation fits because mediation guides the process without imposing a binding decision. Arbitration is different because it usually gives the third-party decision power. Collective bargaining is different because it is labor management negotiation, and groupthink is different because it is pressure toward agreement. Question 35. During a management case, employees receive clear, challenging goals and regular feedback within a non-profit organization for the Bluebird unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, Maslow's hierarchy. Option B, Hawthorne effect. Option C, goal-setting theory. Option D, decentralization. The correct answer is option C, goal-setting theory. Goal-setting theory fits because goal-setting theory says specific challenging goals can improve performance when accepted. Maslow's hierarchy is different because it ranks needs. Hawthorne effect is different because it involves changes due to being observed, and decentralization is different because it delegates authority downward. Question 36. How should a manager classify a situation where a team member reduces tension and encourages quieter members to participate inside a regional branch for the Bluebird unit? Option A, task role. Option B, maintenance role. Option C, program decision. Option D, line authority. The correct answer is option B, maintenance role. Maintenance role fits because maintenance roles support group relationships and cohesion. Task role is different because it focuses directly on completing the work. Program decision is different because it handles routine problems, and line authority is different because it commands core work activities. Question 37. When an employee compares pay and effort with coworkers and judges fairness in a customer service center for the Bluebird unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, expectancy theory. Option B, equity theory. Option C, Maslow's theory. Option D, TQM. The correct answer is option B, equity theory. Equity theory fits because equity theory focuses on perceived fairness between inputs and outcomes. Expectancy theory is different because it asks whether effort will lead to valued rewards. Maslow's theory is different because it ranks needs in a hierarchy, and TQM is different because it focuses on continuous quality improvement. Question 38. After a team generates many ideas before judging any of them at a family-owned business for the Bluebird unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, groupthink. Option B, arbitration. Option C, budgeting. Option D, brainstorming. The correct answer is option D, brainstorming. Brainstorming fits because brainstorming separates idea generation from evaluation to encourage creativity. Groupthink is different because it pressures members toward agreement. Arbitration is different because it lets a third party decide a dispute, and budgeting is different because it plans financial resources. Question 39. If a manager adjusts communication after learning local business customs abroad in a multinational company for the Bluebird unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, technical skill. Option B, cultural intelligence. Option C, budget control. Option D, job enlargement. The correct answer is option B, cultural intelligence. Cultural intelligence fits because cultural intelligence is the ability to work effectively across cultures. Technical skill is different because it is specialized work knowledge, budget control is different because it compares financial results, and job enlargement is different because it expands tasks. Question 40. To analyze a case where union representatives and management negotiate wages, hours, and working conditions at a new startup for the Bluebird unit, which term should be selected? Option A, collective bargaining. Option B, mediation. Option C, recruitment. Option D, forecasting. The correct answer is option A, collective bargaining. Collective bargaining fits because collective bargaining is the negotiation process between labor and management. Mediation is different because it uses a neutral helper in a dispute, recruitment is different because it attracts job applicants, and forecasting is different because it estimates future conditions. Question 41. For an exam item where a manager sends instructions and performance expectations to employees at a warehouse facility for the Bluebird unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, upward communication. Option B, horizontal communication. Option C, grapevine. Option D, downward communication. The correct answer is option D, downward communication. Downward communication fits because downward communication flows from higher levels to lower levels. Upward communication is different because it moves from employees to managers, horizontal communication is different because it moves among peers, and grapevine is different because it is informal and unofficial. Question 42. In a workplace example where a supervisor paraphrases an employee's concern before responding inside a project team for the Bluebird unit, which concept is tested? Option A, filtering. Option B, noise. Option C, downward control. Option D, active listening. The correct answer is option D, active listening. Active listening fits because active listening checks understanding and shows attention to the speaker. Filtering is different because it distorts information before it reaches the receiver, noise is different because it interferes with communication, and downward control is different because it is not a standard communication concept. Question 43. Before choosing an answer about a manager uses rewards and consequences to increase desired behavior inside a training program for the Bluebird unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, equity theory. Option B, goal-setting theory. Option C, reinforcement theory. Option D, matrix structure. The correct answer is option C, reinforcement theory. Reinforcement theory fits because reinforcement theory explains behavior through its consequences. Equity theory is different because it focuses on fairness perceptions, goal-setting theory is different because it emphasizes clear and challenging goals, and matrix structure is different because it creates dual reporting lines. Question 44. One manager notices that a leader asks employees for input before making an important decision during a manufacturing expansion for the Bluebird unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, autocratic leadership. Option B, democratic leadership. Option C, laissez-faire leadership. Option D, transactional leadership. The correct answer is option B, democratic leadership. Democratic leadership fits because democratic leadership involves participation and shared input. Autocratic leadership is different because it relies on leader-centered decision-making, laissez-faire leadership is different because it provides minimal direction, and transactional leadership is different because it emphasizes exchanges of rewards for performance. Question 45. Could a case where a company identifies a patented process it owns as an advantage within a non-profit organization for the Bluebird unit best point to which concept? Option A, threat. Option B, opportunity. Option C, strength. Option D, weakness. The correct answer is option C, strength. Strength fits because a strength is an internal positive capability or resource. Threat is different because it is an external danger, opportunity is different because it is an external positive condition, and weakness is different because it is an internal limitation. Question 46. Why would a scenario where employees can trace who reports to whom from supervisor to executive inside a regional branch for the Bluebird unit most likely test which idea? Option A, job enrichment. Option B, chain of command. Option C, benchmarking. Option D, equity theory. The correct answer is option B, chain of command. Chain of command fits because the chain of command shows the formal line of authority. Job enrichment is different because it adds motivating responsibility to work. Benchmarking is different because it compares performance with best practices, and equity theory is different because it concerns perceived fairness. Question 47. Where does a department head groups jobs, assigns authority, and allocates resources in a customer service center for the Bluebird unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, planning. Option B, organizing. Option C, leading. Option D, controlling. The correct answer is option B, organizing. Organizing fits because organizing creates the structure needed to carry out a plan. Planning is different because it chooses goals before the structure is built. Leading is different because it motivates people rather than designs jobs. And controlling is different because it checks performance after standards exist. Question 48. Should a student connect? A leader inspires employees with a vision for major change at a family-owned business for the Bluebird unit with which management concept? Option A, transformational leadership. Option B, transactional leadership. Option C, scientific management. Option D, budgetary control. The correct answer is option A, transformational leadership. Transformational leadership fits because transformational leadership motivates people through vision, meaning, and change. Transactional leadership is different because it focuses on exchanges and rewards. Scientific management is different because it focuses on task efficiency, and budgetary control is different because it monitors financial results. Question 49. Which concept is shown when major decisions must be approved by top executives in a multinational company for the Bluebird unit? Option A, decentralization. Option B, empowerment. Option C, centralization. Option D, horizontal communication. The correct answer is option C, centralization. Centralization fits because centralization concentrates decision authority at higher levels. Decentralization is different because it pushes authority to lower levels. Empowerment is different because it gives employees more discretion, and horizontal communication is different because it flows among peers. Question 50. A leader focuses first on helping followers grow and succeed at a new startup for the Bluebird unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, servant leadership. Option B, autocratic leadership. Option C, transactional leadership. Option D, scientific management. The correct answer is option A, servant leadership. Servant leadership fits because servant leadership prioritizes follower development, service, and trust. Autocratic leadership is different because it emphasizes command by the leader. Transactional leadership is different because it emphasizes performance exchanges, and scientific management is different because it emphasizes efficient work methods. Question 51. During a management case, a company changes its processes to comply with new workplace safety rules at a warehouse facility for the Bluebird unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, grapevine. Option B, government regulation. Option C, job enrichment. Option D, power distance. The correct answer is option B, government regulation. Government regulation fits because government regulation sets legal requirements that organizations must follow. Grapevine is different because it is informal communication. Job enrichment is different because it adds motivating responsibility, and power distance is different because it is a cultural value dimension. Question 52. How should a manager classify a situation where executives choose broad long-term goals for the whole organization inside a project team for the Bluebird unit? Option A, operational planning. Option B, strategic planning. Option C, work scheduling. Option D, performance appraisal. The correct answer is option B, strategic planning. Strategic planning fits because strategic planning sets organization-wide direction over a longer time horizon. Operational planning is different because it focuses on short-term day-to-day activities. Work scheduling is different because it assigns timing to tasks, and performance appraisal is different because it evaluates employee results. Question 53. When frontline employees send suggestions and problems to senior managers inside a training program for the Bluebird unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, downward communication. Option B, upward communication. Option C, horizontal communication. Option D, external communication. The correct answer is option B, upward communication. Upward communication fits because upward communication flows from lower levels to higher levels. Downward communication is different because it flows from managers to employees. Horizontal communication is different because it flows across peers, and external communication is different because it crosses organizational boundaries. Question 54. After managers estimate future sales before setting staffing levels during a manufacturing expansion for the Bluebird unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, delegation. Option B, job enrichment. Option C, forecasting. Option D, mediation. The correct answer is option C, forecasting. Forecasting fits because forecasting predicts future conditions so managers can plan more intelligently. Delegation is different because it assigns responsibility and authority. Job enrichment is different because it adds motivating responsibility to a job, and mediation is different because it uses a neutral party to guide dispute resolution. Question 55. If employees strongly value group harmony and loyalty to the team within a nonprofit organization for the Bluebird unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, individualism. Option B, uncertainty avoidance. Option C, collectivism. Option D, equity theory. The correct answer is option C, collectivism. Collectivism fits because collectivism emphasizes group identity and shared obligations. Individualism is different because it emphasizes personal achievement. Uncertainty avoidance is different because it concerns ambiguity, and equity theory is different because it concerns fairness comparisons. Question 56. To analyze a case where a supervisor motivates employees and guides them toward a shared goal inside a regional branch for the Bluebird unit, which term should be selected? Option A, planning. Option B, organizing. Option C, controlling. Option D, leading. The correct answer is option D, leading. Leading fits because leading focuses on influencing, motivating, and directing people. Planning is different because it is about setting direction before action. Organizing is different because it designs responsibilities and relationships, and controlling is different because it compares results with standards. Question 57. For an exam item where a team produces the same output using fewer resources in a customer service center for the Bluebird unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, efficiency. Option B, effectiveness. Option C, equity. Option D, authority. The correct answer is option A, efficiency. Efficiency fits because efficiency means using resources wisely with minimal waste. Effectiveness is different because it means achieving the right goals. Equity is different because it concerns fairness, and authority is different because it is the right to make decisions. Question 58. In a workplace example where a manager studies how changes in one department affect suppliers, employees, and customers at a family-owned business for the Bluebird unit, which concept is tested? Option A, scientific management. Option B, job specification. Option C, downward communication. Option D, systems theory. The correct answer is option D, systems theory. Systems theory fits because systems theory views the organization as interdependent parts within a larger environment. Scientific management is different because it focuses on efficient task design. Job specification is different because it lists worker qualifications, and downward communication is different because it describes message direction. Question 59. Before choosing an answer about a company reinforces a new process until it becomes the normal way to work in a multinational company for the Bluebird unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, unfreezing. Option B, refreezing. Option C, storming. Option D, forecasting. The correct answer is option B, refreezing. Refreezing fits because refreezing stabilizes a change so the new behavior lasts. Unfreezing is different because it prepares people for change. Storming is different because it is a team development stage, and forecasting is different because it estimates future conditions. Question 60. One manager notices that managers track economic, legal, technological, and social forces outside the firm at a new startup for the Bluebird unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, internal strength. Option B, external environment. Option C, job description. Option D, span of control. The correct answer is option B, external environment. External environment fits because the external environment includes outside forces that affect organizational decisions. Internal strength is different because it is a capability inside the firm. Job description is different because it lists a position's duties, and span of control is different because it counts direct reports. Question 61. Could a case where an organization relies on written rules, hierarchy, specialization, and formal procedures at a warehouse facility for the Bluebird unit best point to which concept? Option A, adhocracy. Option B, grapevine. Option C, job enrichment. Option D, bureaucracy. The correct answer is option D, bureaucracy. Bureaucracy fits because bureaucracy is a formal structure built around rules, hierarchy, and defined roles. Adhocracy is different because it is flexible and innovation-oriented. Grapevine is different because it is informal communication, and job enrichment is different because it redesigns work for motivation. Question 62. Why would a scenario where employees share unofficial information before management makes a formal announcement inside a project team for the Bluebird unit most likely test which idea? Option A, organization chart. Option B, policy manual. Option C, budget report. Option D, grapevine. The correct answer is option D, grapevine. Grapevine fits because the grapevine is the informal communication network inside an organization. Organization chart is different because it is a formal structure diagram. Policy manual is different because it gives official guidance, and budget report is different because it gives financial control information. Question 63. Where does a manager assigns a task and grants enough authority to complete it inside a training program for the Bluebird unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, centralization. Option B, job rotation. Option C, delegation. Option D, arbitration. The correct answer is option C, delegation. Delegation fits because delegation transfers responsibility for work along with the authority needed to do it. Centralization is different because it keeps authority near the top. Job rotation is different because it moves employees among jobs, and arbitration is different because it uses a third party to make a binding dispute decision. Question 64. Should a student connect employees share unwritten values about how work should be done during a manufacturing expansion for the Bluebird unit with which management concept? Option A, organization chart. Option B, organizational culture. Option C, budget. Option D, job specification. The correct answer is option B, organizational culture. Organizational culture fits because organizational culture is the shared values, beliefs, and assumptions of members. Organization chart is different because it shows formal structure, budget is different because it allocates money, and job specification is different because it lists required qualifications. Question 65. Which concept is shown when HR studies the tasks, duties, and requirements of a position within a nonprofit organization for the Bluebird unit? Option A, job enrichment. Option B, job analysis. Option C, recruitment. Option D, collective bargaining. The correct answer is option B, job analysis. Job analysis fits because job analysis collects information about what a job involves and what worker qualities it requires. Job enrichment is different because it redesigns work for motivation. Recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, and collective bargaining is different because it negotiates labor agreements. Question 66. Frontline supervisors plan specific daily activities and work routines inside a regional branch for the Bluebird unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, strategic planning. Option B, organization development. Option C, benchmarking. Option D, operational planning. The correct answer is option D, operational planning. Operational planning fits because operational planning deals with short-range tasks, procedures, and schedules. Strategic planning is different because it covers broad long-term direction. Organization development is different because it focuses on planned organizational change, and benchmarking is different because it compares practices with leading performers. Question 67. During a management case, a manager must explain why a project missed its target in a customer service center for the Bluebird unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, accountability. Option B, authority. Option C, delegation. Option D, recruitment. The correct answer is option A, accountability. Accountability fits because accountability means being answerable for results. Authority is different because it is decision-making power. Delegation is different because it transfers work and authority to another person, and recruitment is different because it attracts job applicants. Question 68. How should a manager classify a situation where a leader recognizes frustration in a team and responds calmly at a family-owned business for the Bluebird unit? Option A, technical skill. Option B, benchmarking. Option C, emotional intelligence. Option D, span of control. The correct answer is option C, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence fits because emotional intelligence involves understanding and managing emotions in oneself and others. Technical skill is different because it concerns specialized job knowledge. Benchmarking is different because it compares practices with leaders, and span of control is different because it counts direct reports. Question 69. When managers compare internal strengths and weaknesses with external opportunities and threats in a multinational company for the Bluebird unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, PERT analysis. Option B, performance appraisal. Option C, collective bargaining. Option D, SWOT analysis. The correct answer is option D, SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis fits because SWOT analysis organizes internal and external factors for strategic planning. PERT analysis is different because it schedules complex project activities, performance appraisal is different because it evaluates an employee's work, and collective bargaining is different because it negotiates labor agreements. Question 70. After someone starts a new venture by taking risk to pursue an opportunity at a new startup for the Bluebird unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, bureaucracy. Option B, entrepreneurship. Option C, performance appraisal. Option D, feed-forward control. The correct answer is option B, entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship fits because entrepreneurship involves creating a venture, taking risk, and seeking opportunity. Bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes formal rules, performance appraisal is different because it evaluates employees, and feed-forward control is different because it checks inputs before action. Question 71. If workers plan, schedule, monitor, and control much of their own work at a warehouse facility for the Bluebird unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, self-managed team. Option B, traditional team. Option C, virtual organization. Option D, quality circle. The correct answer is option A, self-managed team. Self-managed team fits because self-managed teams have authority over many administrative and work process decisions. Traditional team is different because it relies more on a supervisor for direction. Virtual organization is different because it uses networks and technology across locations, and quality circle is different because it usually recommends improvements rather than manages all work. Question 72. To analyze a case where an employee receives performance input from supervisors, peers, subordinates, and sometimes customers inside a project team for the Bluebird unit, which term should be selected? Option A, 360-degree feedback. Option B, self-managed team. Option C, job specification. Option D, budget control. The correct answer is option A, 360-degree feedback. 360-degree feedback fits because 360-degree feedback gathers appraisal information from multiple sources around the employee. Self-managed team is different because it gives a team control over work. Job specification is different because it lists qualifications, and budget control is different because it compares financial results with a budget. Question 73. For an exam item where a team ignores warning signs because members want agreement more than realistic evaluation inside a training program for the Bluebird unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, constructive conflict. Option B, benchmarking. Option C, groupthink. Option D, equity theory. The correct answer is option C, groupthink. Groupthink fits because groupthink occurs when pressure for harmony weakens critical thinking. Constructive conflict is different because it encourages useful disagreement. Benchmarking is different because it compares with best practices, and equity theory is different because it focuses on perceived fairness. Question 74. In a workplace example where a team writes a goal that is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound during a manufacturing expansion for the Bluebird unit, which concept is tested? Option A, SMART goal. Option B, vision statement. Option C, grapevine. Option D, bureaucracy. The correct answer is option A, SMART goal. SMART goal fits because SMART goals are clear enough to guide action and evaluate results. Vision statement is different because it describes a desired future rather than a measurable target. Grapevine is different because it is informal communication, and bureaucracy is different because it is a formal rule-based structure. Question 75. Before choosing an answer about a company creates separate units for consumer products, business products, and services within a non-profit organization for the Bluebird unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, divisional structure. Option B, functional structure. Option C, simple structure. Option D, staff authority. The correct answer is option A, divisional structure. Divisional structure fits because a divisional structure groups work around products, customers, or regions. Functional structure is different because it groups by specialized activities. Simple structure is different because it has little formalization and few departments, and staff authority is different because it gives advice rather than a full divisional design. Question 76. One manager notices that managers study broad principles such as unity of command and division of work inside a regional branch for the Bluebird unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, administrative management. Option B, scientific management. Option C, quantitative management. Option D, e-business. The correct answer is option A, administrative management. Administrative management fits because administrative management focuses on general principles for managing organizations. Scientific management is different because it focuses more on individual task efficiency. Quantitative management is different because it applies mathematical models, and e-business is different because it uses digital technology for business processes. Question 77. Could a case where a leader changes direction and support based on follower readiness in a customer service center for the Bluebird unit best point to which concept? Option A, autocratic leadership. Option B, bureaucratic management. Option C, job enrichment. Option D, situational leadership. The correct answer is option D, situational leadership. Situational leadership fits because situational leadership adapts leader behavior to the maturity or readiness of followers. Autocratic leadership is different because it consistently centers decisions on the leader. Bureaucratic management is different because it emphasizes formal rules, and job enrichment is different because it redesigns jobs for motivation. Question 78. Why would a scenario where a supervisor is responsible for 12 direct reports at a family-owned business for the Bluebird unit most likely test which idea? Option A, chain of command. Option B, unity of direction. Option C, span of control. Option D, job specification. The correct answer is option C, span of control. Span of control fits because span of control is the number of employees reporting directly to a manager. Chain of command is different because it shows reporting lines rather than number of reports. Unity of direction is different because it aligns activities under one plan, and job specification is different because it lists qualifications. Question 79. Where does employees worry a new system will reduce their status or job security in a multinational company for the Bluebird unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, empowerment. Option B, benchmarking. Option C, resistance to change. Option D, orientation. The correct answer is option C, resistance to change. Resistance to change fits because resistance to change often comes from fear, uncertainty, or perceived loss. Empowerment is different because it gives people more discretion. Benchmarking is different because it compares against best practices. And orientation is different because it introduces employees to the organization. Question 80. Should a student connect a neutral third party hears a dispute and makes a binding decision at a new startup for the Bluebird unit with which management concept? Option A, mediation. Option B, brainstorming. Option C, job rotation. Option D, arbitration. The correct answer is option D, arbitration. Arbitration fits because arbitration gives the third party authority to decide the outcome. Mediation is different because it helps parties negotiate without imposing a decision. Brainstorming is different because it generates ideas, and job rotation is different because it moves employees among jobs. Question 81. Which concept is shown when a company prepares a backup response in case a supplier fails at a warehouse facility for the Bluebird unit? Option A, standing rule. Option B, job analysis. Option C, contingency plan. Option D, downward communication. The correct answer is option C, contingency plan. Contingency plan fits because a contingency plan prepares for possible future events or disruptions. Standing rule is different because it gives a continuing command for repeated behavior. Job analysis is different because it studies tasks and requirements, and downward communication is different because it flows from managers to employees. Question 82. Team members write ideas silently, discuss them, and rank the options inside a project team for the Bluebird unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, nominal group technique. Option B, brainstorming. Option C, grapevine. Option D, job analysis. The correct answer is option A, nominal group technique. Nominal group technique fits because the nominal group technique reduces dominance by collecting individual ideas before voting. Brainstorming is different because it usually encourages open idea generation. Grapevine is different because it is informal communication, and job analysis is different because it studies work duties. Question 83. During a management case, managers recognize that social needs and group norms affect productivity inside a training program for the Bluebird unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, scientific management. Option B, classical bureaucracy. Option C, PERT. Option D, human relations approach. The correct answer is option D, human relations approach. Human relations approach fits because the human relations approach emphasizes people, morale, and social factors at work. Scientific management is different because it emphasizes efficient task methods. Classical bureaucracy is different because it emphasizes formal rules and hierarchy, and PERT is different because it schedules project activities. Question 84. How should a manager classify a situation where a diagram shows formal positions and reporting relationships during a manufacturing expansion for the Bluebird unit? Option A, balance sheet. Option B, SWOT table. Option C, training plan. Option D, organization chart. The correct answer is option D, organization chart. Organization chart fits because an organization chart visually displays formal authority and reporting lines. Balance sheet is different because it reports financial position. SWOT table is different because it summarizes strategic factors, and training plan is different because it develops employee skills. Question 85. When managers choose practices that protect resources for future use within a nonprofit organization for the Bluebird unit, which concept is being applied? Option A, job specification. Option B, forcing. Option C, sustainability. Option D, tactical planning. The correct answer is option C, sustainability. Sustainability fits because sustainability balances present performance with long-term environmental and social effects. Job specification is different because it lists qualifications. Forcing is different because it imposes a conflict decision, and tactical planning is different because it converts strategy into departmental plans. Question 86. After managers compare applicants and choose the best person for the job inside a regional branch for the Bluebird unit, which label best fits the action? Option A, recruitment. Option B, training. Option C, collective bargaining. Option D, selection. The correct answer is option D, selection. Selection fits because selection is the process of screening and hiring from the applicant pool. Recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, training is different because it builds skills after hiring, and collective bargaining is different because it negotiates labor conditions. Question 87. If managers set expected revenues and spending limits for a department in a customer service center for the Bluebird unit, which choice gives the strongest management explanation? Option A, organization chart. Option B, job description. Option C, budget. Option D, grapevine. The correct answer is option C, budget. Budget fits because a budget is a financial plan that helps allocate and control resources. Organization chart is different because it shows formal reporting relationships. Job description is different because it lists position duties, and grapevine is different because it is informal communication. Question 88. To analyze a case where an employee follows formal steps to challenge a contract violation at a family-owned business for the Bluebird unit, which term should be selected? Option A, selection procedure. Option B, budgeting process. Option C, grievance procedure. Option D, brainstorming. The correct answer is option C, grievance procedure. Grievance procedure fits because a grievance procedure gives employees a formal path for resolving workplace complaints. Selection procedure is different because it screens job applicants. Budgeting process is different because it plans financial resources, and brainstorming is different because it generates ideas before judging them. Question 89. For an exam item where an HR specialist advises managers about hiring rules without running their departments in a multinational company for the Bluebird unit, which answer is most accurate? Option A, staff authority. Option B, line authority. Option C, centralization. Option D, concurrent control. The correct answer is option A, staff authority. Staff authority fits because staff authority supports line managers with specialized advice. Line authority is different because it directly commands core work. Centralization is different because it concerns where decisions are made, and concurrent control is different because it monitors work in progress. Question 90. In a workplace example where materials arrive shortly before they are needed in production at a new startup for the Bluebird unit, which concept is tested? Option A, safety stock. Option B, just-in-time inventory. Option C, job rotation. Option D, SWOT analysis. The correct answer is option B, just-in-time inventory. Just-in-time inventory fits because JIT reduces inventory holding by coordinating deliveries closely with production needs. Safety stock is different because it keeps extra inventory as a buffer. Job rotation is different because it moves employees among jobs, and SWOT analysis is different because it studies strategic factors. Question 91. Before choosing an answer about leaders, describe what the organization wants to become in the future at a warehouse facility for the Bluebird unit, which concept should stand out? Option A, rule. Option B, job description. Option C, vision statement. Option D, concurrent control. The correct answer is option C, vision statement. Vision statement fits because a vision statement expresses an inspiring future state. Rule is different because it states a specific required or prohibited behavior. Job description is different because it lists duties of a position, and concurrent control is different because it monitors work while it is happening. Question 92. One manager notices that leaders explain the organization's basic purpose and reason for existing inside a project team for the Bluebird unit. Which management idea is involved? Option A, procedure. Option B, mission statement. Option C, variance report. Option D, job specification. The correct answer is option B, mission statement. Mission statement fits because a mission statement states what the organization does and why it exists. Procedure is different because it gives step-by-step instructions. Variance report is different because it compares actual results with standards, and job specification is different because it lists qualifications for a job. Question 93. Could a case where a new customer segment appears in the market inside a training program for the Bluebird unit best point to which concept? Option A, weakness. Option B, opportunity. Option C, strength. Option D, policy. The correct answer is option B, opportunity. Opportunity fits because an opportunity is an external condition the organization can use to improve results. Weakness is different because it is inside the organization, strength is different because it is an internal advantage, and policy is different because it is a general decision guideline. Question 94. Why would a scenario where a team includes employees with different backgrounds, experiences, and perspectives during a manufacturing expansion for the Bluebird unit most likely test which idea? Option A, workforce diversity. Option B, uniformity. Option C, centralization. Option D, budget variance. The correct answer is option A, workforce diversity. Workforce diversity fits because workforce diversity refers to differences among employees that can affect work and decisions. Uniformity is different because it means sameness rather than difference. Centralization is different because it keeps authority at higher levels, and budget variance is different because it compares financial actuals with planned amounts. Question 95. Where does a manager chooses a leadership style based on the team's skill and the situation within a non-profit organization for the Bluebird unit fit best in management terminology? Option A, one best way approach. Option B, contingency theory. Option C, equity theory. Option D, centralization. The correct answer is option B, contingency theory. Contingency theory fits because contingency theory says effective management depends on situational factors. One best way approach is different because it assumes one method works everywhere. Equity theory is different because it focuses on fairness perceptions, and centralization is different because it concerns where authority is held. Question 96. Should a student connect a manager chooses a satisfactory solution because time and information are limited inside a regional branch for the Bluebird unit with which management concept? Option A, bounded rationality. Option B, perfect rationality. Option C, brainstorming. Option D, management by exception. The correct answer is option A, bounded rationality. Bounded rationality fits because bounded rationality recognizes that managers cannot always make perfectly rational decisions. Perfect rationality is different because it assumes complete information and unlimited analysis. Brainstorming is different because it generates many ideas, and management by exception is different because it focuses attention on major deviations. Question 97. Which concept is shown when a theorist emphasizes hierarchy, formal rules, and impersonal treatment in a customer service center for the Bluebird unit? Option A, human relations management. Option B, transformational leadership. Option C, JIT inventory. Option D, bureaucratic management. The correct answer is option D, bureaucratic management. Bureaucratic management fits because bureaucratic management explains organizations through formal authority, rules, and specialization. Human relations management is different because it emphasizes social and psychological factors. Transformational leadership is different because it inspires change through vision, and JIT inventory is different because it reduces inventory holding. Question 98. A supervisor formally evaluates an employee's job results against standards at a family-owned business for the Bluebird unit. Which term best matches the situation? Option A, job analysis. Option B, recruitment. Option C, orientation. Option D, performance appraisal. The correct answer is option D, performance appraisal. Performance appraisal fits because performance appraisal assesses how well an employee met performance expectations. Job analysis is different because it studies job duties, recruitment is different because it attracts applicants, and orientation is different because it introduces new hires. Question 99. During a management case, a manager sets objectives and chooses actions before work begins in a multinational company for the Bluebird unit. Which idea is most relevant? Option A, planning. Option B, organizing. Option C, leading. Option D, controlling. The correct answer is option A, planning. Planning fits because planning is the function that defines goals and decides how to reach them. Organizing is different because it arranges resources after goals are set. Leading is different because it influences people to work toward goals, and controlling is different because it measures results against standards. Question 100. How should a manager classify a situation where a leader makes decisions alone and expects quick compliance at a new startup for the Bluebird unit? Option A, autocratic leadership. Option B, democratic leadership. Option C, laissez-faire leadership. Option D, servant leadership. The correct answer is option A, autocratic leadership. Autocratic leadership fits because autocratic leadership centralizes authority in the leader. Democratic leadership is different because it invites participation, laissez-faire leadership is different because it gives followers wide freedom, and servant leadership is different because it emphasizes serving followers' needs.